Snake Island. Snake Island is one of the deadliest islands located about 33 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo, Brazil. The Brazilian Navy has completely sealed off the island from the public. The main danger comes from the golden Lancehead viper, an extremely venomous snake. Their venom can literally melt human flesh and can kill a human in under an hour if not treated quickly. Scientists claim there is one snake per square meter, with a population of about 4,000 vipers. These snakes have been trapped here since the last ice age, when rising sea levels cut them off from the mainland. Rumor has it, a fisherman landed on the island in search of bananas, only to be discovered days later in his boat, dead in a pool of blood with snake bites on his body. Despite these venomous snakes, Snake Island is important because the venom is used to make blood pressure medication. North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island, located in the Bay of Bengal, is known as the most dangerous island on Earth. The Indian government prohibits anyone from traveling within 5 miles of its shores. The land is home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted indigenous tribes. They have lived in isolation for nearly 55,000 years. Because the Sentinelese have been isolated for so long, they have no immunity to modern diseases. For instance, in 2025, an American YouTuber was arrested by authorities after he tried to make contact with the tribe, leaving a can of Coke and a coconut as offerings. While it seemed harmless, just the bacteria on the can could trigger an illness that could wipe out the population. Despite these restrictions, North Sentinel Island is quite important. The Sentinel are one of the last completely isolated tribes, surviving by hunting and gathering resources. Surtsey. Surtsey is a volcanic island found on the southern coast of Iceland. UNESCO strictly bans people from going to Surtsey. The formation occurred from an underwater volcanic eruption between 1963 and 1967. The island is protected to see how nature works without human disturbance. By keeping humans out, scientists have been able to see an ecosystem start from zero. Only a few scientists are allowed to visit Surtsey every year, and they must follow strict rules. Over the decades, seeds have grown, gulls have flown in, dropping nutrient-rich soil, and gray seals have claimed the shore as a safe place from killer whales. Today, the island is like a natural laboratory with over 500 species. Despite being completely off-limits, Surtsey is one of the most valuable places on Earth, a natural laboratory showing us exactly how life conquers empty land. Monkey Island. Monkey Island, formerly known as Morgan Island, South Carolina, is one of the most unique islands on Earth. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources has made the land completely off-limits to humans. Morgan Island began in 1979 when the U.S. government relocated about 1,400 rhesus monkeys from Puerto Rico. The population exploded. Today, the island is home to a colony of 3,500 to 4,000 free-roaming primates. The marshland is forbidden to the public to protect humans from monkeys. You see, a majority of adult monkeys carry the Herpes B virus. For monkeys, it's harmless. But for humans, it's highly lethal, with a fatality rate of 80%. The island isn't protected by fences or walls, it's protected by law. Despite how dangerous Morgan Island is, it's being used for research and making life-saving medicine for millions of people. Poveglia. Poveglia, a small island in the Venetian lagoon, northern Italy, is one of the most haunted places on Earth. The Italian government has completely abandoned and restricted tourists from setting foot on shore. It has no residents. Its buildings have been left to deteriorate, nature has taken over, walls are crumbling, and 50% of the ground is human ash. Poveglia's story begins in the late 14th century, when the bubonic plague was tearing through Europe. Venice was vulnerable to infection, arriving on trading ships. Sick passengers would be diverted and quarantined there. However, many of them never left, and it became a dumping ground for the dead. The official reason for the place's restricted access is the dangerous state of the deteriorating buildings. There was once the ancient San Vitale Church. However, it was destroyed when Napoleon Bonaparte passed through. Today, only the bell tower remains. Despite Poveglia's dark past, the island still reminds people of the lengths early societies took to protect cities from pandemics. Niihau. Niihau, Hawaii, is the westernmost of the main islands and is often called the Forbidden Isle. The island isn't forbidden by any government law. It has rather been privately owned for 150 years. Its owners made a promise to protect the island's culture, environment, and language. You might be wondering, who owns Niihau? The answer would be the Robinson family. They've vowed to preserve the land ever since it was bought back in 1864 for $10,000 in gold. Niihau has a small population of 84 who live traditionally, with no Wi-Fi, no running water, and no cars. It is the only island in Hawaii where Native Hawaiian is the primary language. The people rely on solar power and rainwater and live on farming and fishing. On Niihau, there is just one school. Here, students learn about traditional ways of living along with regular subjects. Although Niihau is inaccessible, it acts as a time capsule of native Hawaiian culture. Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia is a coral atoll hidden in the central Indian Ocean, no tourist destination, and one of the world's most remote islands. From above, it looks like a perfect ring of white sand surrounded by crystal clear water, with coral reefs supporting fish, rays, and turtles underwater. What makes Diego Garcia different from other islands is its secrecy. The UK and the United States prohibit ordinary travelers from visiting the island because it was not meant to be seen. This remote location serves as a strategic military base for surveillance. But Diego Garcia has a dark story. There is one obvious problem with building a military base on an island. Sometimes people already live there. The Chagosians have lived on Diego Garcia for generations. Between 1968 and 1974, the British government forcibly removed more than 2,000 of them, shipping entire families to Mauritius and the Seychelles, where many were condemned to lives of poverty. Decades later, the Chagosians have never been allowed to return, and the injustice remains unresolved. While the island is off-limits, its exclusivity helps preserve its natural beauty. Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll, situated in the Marshall Islands, is one of the most radioactive places in the world. The US government and local leaders have permanently locked the island down. Following the end of World War II, the United States of America decided to resume nuclear testing in the Pacific Ocean on Bikini Atoll. After displacing and relocating local inhabitants, 23 nuclear tests were carried out from 1946 to 1958. Among them was Castle Bravo, a hydrogen bomb so powerful it vaporized 3 islands entirely and was 1,000 times more destructive than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The Bikinians were promised a temporary relocation, and 2026 marks 80 years they've waited to go home. Despite the radioactivity, coral reefs around the atoll have recovered, and the sunken warships from the tests are now one of the world's most renowned scuba diving sites. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. If you want to learn about the world's smallest countries, that video is right there.